Welcome to the future, where we're still waiting for our flying cars. I'm from HDIN Research, and today we're dissecting the 2026 eVTOL sector. While the headlines promise a Jetsons-style utopia, the balance sheets look more like a high-stakes poker game played in a hurricane. This isn't just about cool rotors, it's about who has the strategic oxygen to survive the certification death zone. Think of this as the ultimate survival of the fittest, but with more carbon fiber and much higher stakes. Here's the cold truth. Dreaming of UAM is a billion-dollar entry fee. We're standing at a precipice where engineering ego meets financial gravity. In the consulting world, we call this the capital gap. But in reality, it's more like trying to build a skyscraper while the ground is still liquid. As we enter 2026, the industry is no longer just burning cash for warmth. It's burning it to prove that gravity is just a suggestion. Let's look at the burn versus earn paradox. Joby's $930 million annual loss isn't just a number. It's enough to buy a Tesla for every single person in a medium-sized city. Yet the $1 trillion prize by 2040 is the ultimate siren song. This is the valley of death. Firms are essentially sprinting across a tightrope while carrying lead weights. If you aren't bleeding cash, you aren't trying. But if you bleed too much, you're just a very expensive lawn ornament. Joby is the control freak of the industry. They want to own everything: the motor, the software, the app, and probably the pilot's coffee brand. Their $2.65 billion liquidity is a massive war chest. But vertical integration is a double-edged sword. You get all the margins, but you also own all the headaches. It's like building your own smartphone from scratch instead of buying an iPhone. It's brilliant if it works, but a catastrophic fire hazard if it doesn't. Archer is playing the popular kid strategy. By partnering with Stellantis and United, they've outsourced the heavy lifting of manufacturing. Their midnight aircraft isn't trying to fly across continents. It's a 20-mile suburban shuttle. While Joby builds a cathedral, Archer is building a modular franchise. Their UAE expansion is a brilliant regulatory fast pass, finding a friendlier playground, while the FAA continues to move the goalposts back home. The industry is splitting into two religions: those who want to be Tesla, do everything, and those who want to be Dell, assemble the best parts. This isn't just an engineering choice, it's a bet on how the global supply chain will behave. Choosing the wrong model in 2026 is like bringing a knife to a laser fight. You might be brave, but you won't be around to see the finish line. Meet our three contestants. We have the vertical integrators, the DIY masters, the ecosystem partners, the social butterflies, and the asset-light assemblers, the lean machines. Each has a different risk-to-reward ratio. Vertical aerospace is trying to stay lean, but in a capital-intensive industry, being lean can sometimes look a lot like being undernourished. Welcome to the gory details table. Look at the revenue columns. They're almost invisible. Now look at the net loss. Joby and Beta are spending money like they found a cheat code, while Vertical is essentially checking the sofa cushions for spare change with a runway of less than a year. In consulting, we call this liquidity risk. In the real world, it's searching for a miracle. This graph represents the certification crunch. As we move from CGI renders to actual flight testing, the costs don't just rise, they go vertical. We're in the peak R&D phase. If the 2023 burn was a campfire, 2026 is a full-blown forest fire. Investors are no longer asking, is it cool? They're asking, when do the checks stop being one way? 2026 is the year of the great filter. Joby and Archer are aiming for the FAA Holy Grail. If they miss, the 2028 to 2030 scale-up becomes a pipe dream. This timeline isn't just a schedule, it's a countdown. In this race, coming in second doesn't mean you get a silver medal. It usually means you get acquired for your patents and your furniture. You can't have flying cars without a place to plug them in. Beta is trying to win by building the gas stations of the future with their charging cube. Strategic control of vertiports in Dubai, or LA, is the new real estate gold rush. It doesn't matter how fast your plane is if you have to land in a Walmart parking lot. Now let's put on our grumpy analyst hats. Behind every flashy press release, there's usually a mountain of non-GAAP creative writing. We need to distinguish between engineering breakthroughs and accounting miracles. Just because an aircraft flies in a video doesn't mean the company's bank account isn't in a tailspin. Rule number 1. Non-binding orders are basically thoughts and prayers for balance sheets. Eve's $14 billion backlog is impressive, but it's mostly MOUs, agreements that are about as solid as a cloud. And look at Vertical's 2025 profit, it was just a debt revaluation trick. It's the financial equivalent of finding $20 in your old jeans and calling yourself a billionaire. This is the survival clock. If the funding tap turned off tomorrow, who stays in the air? Beta and Archer have some breathing room, but Vertical is basically holding its breath underwater. 10 months of runway in aviation is like having 5 minutes of fuel left while you're still 50 miles from the airport. The eVTOL sector is moving at Mach 1, and most people are still reading yesterday's news. If you want the raw data and the strategic roadmap to navigate this chaos, you know where to find us. Don't let your portfolio be the one that hits the ground. Connect with HDIN Research, and let's make sense of the sky together.